I didn't reshuffle just for the frequency of it. The president's role is like a coach, not just the team leader. That is ex-President John Ejekun Kufuor's latest advice to President Akufo-Addo as intense pressure mounts on him to reshuffle cabinet. According to the former president, President Akufo-Addo must gather courage and reshuffle his ministers based on performance.
I didn't reshuffle just for the frequency of it, no. Any shifts I made, like I mentioned, Mrs. Asma, I liked her so much. May she rest in peace. And she helped me so much when I was canvassing to become president. Western region, she ran a small loan scheme herself before we came to power. And in a way, she contributed towards establishing Maslow. And so when we got into power, I said, women and children, and she was trying to do it. But along the way, I saw that she wasn't pulling the support I expected from the ladies, the women. When I say ladies, I mean the women generally, and especially the younger women. She was a bit aged. So I sensed, and we wanted the young people to get enthused with our efforts. So I looked, and then I will mention her name. The one who is Ghana's ambassador to America now, Alima, young, smart. I saw that she would bring on board the young people, the women generally. So I said, perhaps Mrs. Asma would be more effective going to the fisheries to open the place up for us. So that's how I did the reshuffle. And Alima came on board, and I think Alima seemed to be making the impact with the young people. And the women generally, we were talking, fighting teenage pregnancies and all those things. So perhaps the younger people, so that's the rationale. So I didn't shuffle just for the sake, but we were watching. The president's role is like a coach, not just a team leader, a coach. You have to know what your ministers are doing, whether they are being positive or where you think they are just being average, when you should expect more of them. Then you should have the courage to say, please, you don't belong here, go there, or perhaps sit aside. That's how I did my job. And that thing should not be like this now, it should be continued.
Director at the University of Ghana Center for European Studies and Senior Political Science lecturer Dr. Kwame Asa Asante joins me on the phone now. Good evening to you. Prof, former President John Ejekun Kufuor says presidents should have no difficulty reshuffling their ministers. Do you think he's indirectly asking President Akufo-Addo to reshuffle his ministers?
Oh, certainly so, because people have called upon the president to reshuffle his ministers so that they can perform. It is a fact that some of the ministers are not performing. And yet, you see the president saying that they are performing extremely well. If they are performing extremely well, wouldn't have been where we are now. So that in itself is a testament of the fact that the president needs to change his ministers so that they can deliver the goods.
And are we going to lose anything as a nation if there's no reshuffle?
Every government, you are interested in your policies and programs resulting in programs that will stand or a legacy for the people. Every government wants to leave an important legacy for the people. So if that is the interest of government, we expect that government will reshuffle so that people will perform. Ministers are supposed to perform the mandate of the president so as to bring the government to the doorstep of everybody. If you don't do that, there is a price you pay during elections where people are not ready to renew your mandate. Even if you are not in office, they don't want to see your party. That cost is there, and the government must be wary of that.
And do you think that president is racing against time to reshuffle cabinet?
He has to do it because time is not on his side. Why am I saying that? We are going for IMF bailout. And there's a need. One of the reasons why we change reshuffle government is when there's a change in policy direction. Obviously, the direction of government policy is going to change, and you need to change ministers, bring in ministers who will be able to do the needful and support the government. So the reshuffle is an evil necessity that the government must attend to immediately. Not only that, if you look at some of the ministries, you realize that the ministers there are not performing. You need to bring in fresh energies so that they can augment what already exists in this difficult time.
Dr. Asante, why do you think President Akufo-Addo is not seeing the bigger picture when it comes to reshuffle?
I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I can answer a guess that maybe he trusts people around him, giving him all manner of advice that, yes, you are on course and all that. And that is where I will call upon the Council of Elders within the party to rise up to the occasion and inform the president that all is not well, so that they can save the party. Otherwise, the record that they are going to leave, I don't know. And let us remember that election governance is nothing but contest of ideas and referendum of your work. What work will President Kufuor will show or leave for the people of this country? I think the party faithful must rise up and then advise the president to do the changes so that they can realize the benefits of the hard work that they have done over the years.
Let me ask you my very final question. To what extent can President Akufo-Addo's refusal to reshuffle ministers affect the party's electoral fortunes in 2024?
Strictly speaking, if you look at government performs and you are able to stand on it and campaign. In this country, one of the things that really support election campaign is your legacy. So if the government doesn't perform and leave any legacy, I don't know how it's going to campaign. And that is why people are calling on the president to reshuffle so that the ministers will perform. And that performance will result in what? The legacy that the president will leave, and that becomes the foundation for whoever we made as a flag bearer for the party to stand on and campaign and win power for the party.
Right. Thank you very much indeed, Director of the University of Ghana Center for European Studies and Senior Political Science Lecturer, Dr. Kwame Asante.